We've all heard of personality traits and behavioral characteristics. In fact, these two things are so talked about that many of us have taken self-assessments to measure them. Understanding our personality and behavior is important, but there's more to the story. Understanding the unconscious patterns and how we filter information is even more important to recognizing how we respond to situations and to identifying not what we think, but how we think. Our mental patterns help determine how we sort through the information coming from what we experience and how we make sense of the world around us. The patterns I'm talking about are called metaprograms, and they're key to determining how we focus our attention and interests and guide how we interact with one another. For that reason, metaprograms have proven to be critical to our success in many ways, particularly communicating, motivating, influencing and managing stress, closing sales, and recruiting, just to name a few. Over the course of my next few videos, I'm going to talk about 6 of the most crucial metaprograms for business success, giving you the ability to increase awareness of your own mental patterns and those of others. Let's get started by talking about toward or away and chunk size. The toward or away metaprogram has to do with how we orient ourselves to pain. We either have a strong urge toward gaining pleasure or an urge to move away from or avoid pain. In terms of our behavior, that means if we are toward motivated, we'll do things to gain pleasure, accomplish a goal to gain the pleasure of an award, move priorities based on the benefits our accomplishments will produce for us, and we'll talk about what we want rather than what we don't want. If we are away motivated, we'll do things to avoid the pain of a consequence. We talk about what we don't want and are often motivated by our fears, concerns, and potential failures. Away motivated people tend to have a scarcity mindset, work better under imposed deadlines, usually spending most of their time firefighting current problems. They are most persuaded when there's something negative to avoid, a failure or risk to consider, and sense of safety or security to be achieved. Understanding how important the toward or away metaprogram is to a person's motivation is key to achieving company goals and increasing sales. If you want to elicit this information, you'll want to pay attention to the words but, however, and because. Once someone has used one of these words, they usually indicate their toward or away motivation. For example, in an optical sale, if your patient tells you they like a frame because they're interested in how they look or who they look like in it, most likely they're toward motivated. Instead, if they tell you they like a frame because of how sturdy it is or because of its extra long warranty, they're probably away motivated. You should respond accordingly, adding information based on the pattern you recognize. If you do this, I guarantee you'll be more successful in closing your sale. The chunk size metaprogram is also known as general or specific. This metaprogram focuses on how we process information. Some people prefer information in bigger chunks. They want strategic highlights or overview of a project and a summary of an issue or solution. Others want all the details. The more specific, the better. They need information given to them in smaller chunks. Understanding the size of informational chunk an individual needs to process is key to gaining rapport and making a strong connection. Getting the wrong chunk size is likely to frustrate and stress whomever you're interacting with, so recognizing when you need to chunk up from specifics to big picture or down from a broad perspective to more details can be the difference in successfully delegating a project, closing a sale, or making meaningful connections with a team. Big chunk people are conceptual thinkers, persuaded by getting to the point quickly and presenting the essentials of a main idea. Small chunk people prefer step-by-step approaches and sequences and are persuaded by words like exactly, precisely, and specifically. It's interesting to note that in a work setting, 60% of the population is general or big chunk and only 15% are specific or small chunk. In case you're having trouble figuring out what your patients or colleagues prefer, you can simply elicit information by simply asking, which do you prefer first, the details or an overview? In my next vlog, I'll discuss internal or external frame of reference and matcher or mismatcher. Until then, take a little time to practice with your patients and each other so you can experience how being aware of meta programs can increase the effectiveness of your message, boosting your chances for success. If you want to know more about this topic or any of our coaching and professional development programs, don't hesitate to reach out. We're always here to help. See you next time.